Hello, everyone. It's Scott Weber from PwC, and I'm joined today by Jamie Crawford, who is our lead around GIS with our customers. Jamie, welcome.
Great. Thanks, Scott.
What is GIS?
Oh, yeah. Essentially, it's a system, geographic information systems is what it stands for. And it's really a tool and set of systems for us to manage and visualize and analyze spatial data. So it's used by a lot of asset-intensive industries like utilities and energy companies to kind of map out where all of their assets are.
So assets being things like power poles, transformers, substations, pipelines, that's what we mean?
Customers as well, right?
Oh,
so
and customer locations. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So why is that important to our customers? Why is a GIS system important to a utility?
I mean, really, it's the foundation to most everything a utility does. I mean, everything as you drive down the street, you'll see where all the assets are, but also think about all the assets that you don't see. So you might not be able to see where water mains are or gas pipelines. So you really have to have a system in order to map and manage where those assets are. So it's really critical to understand where everything is and what condition it's in.
Right, and these systems are typically rather large databases, everything is 3D, everything is imagery. And so, you and I have been working a lot on how do we move these systems into the AWS cloud. So, I know, we've been working with different customers. These are, like we said, these are really big systems. Mm-hmm. They have special requirements as we start to try to migrate these things. We have a special relationship with Esri. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, so Esri, think of them as kind of the premier software provider for this technology. So they've been around since the 70s and 80s. Most all local governments, utilities, even commercial entities have some kind of footprint around that. So they're definitely well known, and they're well known in the industry, and that's what most people are doing. They're going through a bit of a migration too right now and modernizing their technology. So that's a great opportunity for customers to think: as I modernize my GIS, should I put it into the cloud?
So Jamie, as we're working with our customers and helping them modernize, what do they gain by getting to the cloud?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's quite a few things. One is just the flexibility and agility that you have by moving to the cloud. But I've also seen that GIS over the last 5-10 years is kind of moving from more of a departmental system, kind of what I call in the basement, into the boardroom. And so now that we're using GIS more across the organization, the use cases are just kind of being unlocked. And so having your system in the cloud that can respond to that, think about some of the use cases out there around veg management. So, where should I cut down trees? Do I have right-of-way encroachments? Where do I have outages? A lot of these are utility examples, but really being able to use geospatial technology more throughout the organization. And again, if you're on AWS, you can expand that footprint. And then on top of it, I think everybody knows there's so many satellites out there. There's so much more data coming in from the system, from sensors, from LiDAR. So the quantity and the quality of the data is increasing dramatically as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, just to dive a little bit deeper on a couple of those, we've been working together on this idea of how can we use satellite imagery and have the machine start to tell the business where they need to go focus around vegetation management or issues along the pipelines or the power lines. And this is a really powerful concept now of, can we grab images from image providers, satellite operators that are selling images, build machine learning models that can evaluate that and tell us, hey, you now have trees overhanging these power lines, or something's going on this given pipeline. And a lot of these image providers, especially in the satellite space, are full spectrum. So now we can get temperature signatures off of pumps along the pipelines that you just couldn't get before. But I think it's important, while those are opportunities, it all has to feed back into these GIS systems for the business to make a decision, right?
Yeah. I mean, you don't want that to just be siloed, especially when we start talking about imagery. You may acquire an image for a specific use case, like you mentioned for veg management, but why can't I then use that for something else, like some construction that I'm going to be doing? So there's a lot of organizations now that are looking at how can I manage that imagery and all that remotely sensed data, and AWS is a perfect kind of answer to that.
Right. And another thing we're helping customers with, as everything is getting more data, more images, this is all moving to 3D models. And so we're helping customers unlock the potential with AWS to use GPUs in virtual desktop environments running in AWS to be able to really power through these heavy, 3D workloads to create what is now being stored in the GIS systems.
Yeah, so I think the GIS community is excited about that because then they can spend their time doing the fun work on analyzing and mapping and showing these patterns that you may not have seen before, instead of working on infrastructure on how to manage and collect the data and store it. That's kind of all done for them. So.
Great. Well, Jamie, I appreciate you coming by today to talk about how PwC and Esri is helping our customers migrate into AWS to revolutionize how they're using GIS.
Great. Thanks a lot, Scott.